Hello YouTube, Sam here from youtube.com/onlivegamer for the new Boston, and in this tutorial we're going to be taking a look at substrings. Now basically what a substring is extracting part of a string, a certain amount of characters from a string. So let's go ahead and get started and make a little demo for this. So here's our main sub. What we're going to go ahead and do is create a variable. So we'll just make this user string as string, and we'll set it equal to nothing. And now what we're going to do is we are going to prompt the user to enter in a string. So console.writeLine, enter a string. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get that string. You should be very familiar with this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to print out the length of that string. So first off, let's just add some space here. So that will create an empty line, and then we'll see what the program outputs underneath that empty line, just so it's easier to read inside of our console window. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do console.writeLine user string dot length, and then we'll just go ahead and convert that to a string. So basically what we've done is we printed out userString.length, which gets the length of the string, and we just went ahead and converted that to a string and left empty parameters right here. So now we're going to get some substrings of userString. So we're just going to do console.writeLine, and we're going to do userString.substring. And inside of our parameters, we're going to have two arguments. We're going to have the start index, and we're going to have the length. So we're just going to start at 0, and we'll print out the first three characters of this string. So whenever you're working with a substring, strings always start at 0. So let's say you have a user string, and you get the length of that. Whenever you're counting through that length, it's going to start at 0. So if the length is 12, it's going to go from 0 to 11 because that's 12 values, but they always start at 0. So then we'll just go ahead and do this a couple more times. Dot substring, and we'll start at 3, and we'll go ahead 3 characters. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do this one more time, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. So instead of using 2 arguments for the parameters of the substring, we're just going to go ahead and do userString dot substring. So what this is going to do is it's going to print out the first 3 characters of userString. Then it's going to print out the 3rd through 6th characters of userString, and then it's going to print out the remaining characters of userString. So if we go ahead and run this, it's going to say enter a string. So we'll just type onlivegamer, and then we'll do Sam. So once again we get that error that I always run into. Okay, so let's run this again. So we'll just type onlivegamer Sam, and you can see that it tells us that the length of onlivegamer Sam is 14, and it's going to tell us that the first 3 characters of this string right here is ONL, the next 3 characters is IVE, and then the remaining characters is gamer Sam. So go ahead and you can practice a little bit with substrings, and then once you've got that nailed down, go ahead and move on to the next tutorial.